Welcome back. We have another great session coming up. Innovation and establishing kind of the new baseline. This is a great theme that I think everyone's going to be interested in. We have Steve Richard on from ExecVision. Steve and I have known each other for a long time now. Morgan Ingram's on here as well from John Burroughs Sales Training. Morgan and I have getting to know each other over the last couple of years. I even reached out to him myself a few years ago and was like, man, you're very motivating from the SDR motivational and coaching side. I thought he was a great persona in the market, even before he was at the Burroughs Training. So I'm very excited to introduce these guys. And Steve, Morgan, welcome.
Thanks, Matt. Really excited for this.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
All right. So everyone, Morgan and I, when we were talking about this, the first thing we said is we are sick and freaking tired of hearing people say the new normal. I'm just so like we're done. I think everybody else is too. So
finished.
I got it right.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't say it anymore. We're done with it.
And at the same time, what we're seeing is that the world got scrambled. It's almost like scrambled eggs, and now it's sort of sorting back out again. And then it becomes a question of what is that new established baseline? Because if you don't know where your foundation is, how are you going to build the rest of your house if you don't have a foundation? So, when we were brainstorming this topic, we said, what I'm hearing in the market, what I'm hearing sales leaders, sales professionals, sales development reps, managers saying right now is help us understand what are those things that we can and should be testing. I think the key word here is testing, so that we can understand what our new baseline looks like as we go into 2021. Morgan, anything to add to that?
Yeah. So what I want to tell you all from a sales development perspective is to focus on being a scientist. I think a lot of times people get really comfortable in what they're doing and what they're delivering, and they completely forget that we have to be trying out new things in this role. What happened at the beginning of this year is completely different to what's working and happening right now. So you have to understand that you have to always be like, okay, I need to try out this new subject line. I need to do this with my phone calls. I need to handle my objections this way. I need to maybe ask for referrals. Maybe I haven't done that before and I need to start doing it. These are things that you have to be incorporating in your process day to day, because if you're not doing those things, someone's going to end up doing something that's completely different and take the meetings that you're looking to get, right? So this is why you have to keep building and you have to be a scientist in this role. We're going to talk about a couple of things you can do today.
I love it. All right. So DCE folks, if you could please share the slides here. I don't know. We don't know how to do this. So
yeah.
we're dependent on you. Hey, there we go.
There it is.
Yeah, they got it. All right. Now let's see if we can make it so we can actually see it. Oh, that's a little, can you read that, Morgan, or no?
No, it's gotta be a little bit zoomed in for me.
That's okay. That's okay. Can you guys, DCE, can you guys zoom in on it? If not, I can actually read off some of these messages. So where we're going to start our journey here is we're going to talk about the things that I'm getting on a regular basis. Now, let me give you the background context. I've been a business owner since 2005. Granted, it's, fairly small businesses. One's called Foresight, about now 35 employees. And the other one, ExecVision, which I think is about the same. It's about 35 employees. So as a result, I get a lot of emails, oddly enough, not a lot of calls, even though I put my cell phone number right up there front and center. A lot of LinkedIn spam. I mean, don't underestimate the spam factor on LinkedIn right now. It's out of control.
But Steve, I got a question for you on this one. This is very interesting. You, for years and years, have been very, very proficient in cold calling training, and you're known for doing really deep dives on cold calling. It's very interesting that no one calls you, considering the fact of how much you do on cold calling. That's very intriguing to me. I'm actually kind of shocked. You know
what? The one thing that I can tell you differentiates the heck out of people is when I get a cold call that's done properly and has some research behind it, and talks about peer topics and things like that. It's very difficult not to take the meeting, even if you know what's happening to you. You understand the science. So let me read this message so everyone can hear it. And here we go. This just sounds like all the rest of them. The subject line is call Dan Curran and Steve Richard. Hi, Steve. Hope this email finds you well. I understand you're the founder at ExecVision and the best person to discuss this with. I'm referring to a unique platform designed to significantly accelerate customer growth with premium content while also monetizing your website. Would you be available for a quick call on Thursday? And then there's Dan Curran's name, Power Publish, and the address. No, oddly, no phone number, no signature line where you could potentially use a content asset, nothing like that. So, I mean, Morgan, I just read that. What are you thinking as you hear that?
Yeah. So, I mean, a couple things is, this is for everyone, is to look at your emails right now. And I want you all to remove this completely. I hope all is well, or I hope you're staying safe, or the one that when I see it, I actually get really upset and I'm like, I got to shut it down for the day. I'm hoping that you're staying safe in these unprecedented times. I don't know why. I just don't like that one at all. Like every time I hear it or see it, I'm like, I can't.
And actually, you know what? I'll give you the brain science reason, I think.
Yeah. Break it down.
Yeah, which is we just don't like the cliches in our minds because it instantaneously shows that it's too easy when our brains are in something called system one where they're at rest to go like, this is not important. This isn't going to keep me alive. So goodbye. And I'm going to dispense with you, and it's, of course, you teach the why now, but it's too easy for our brains to just be lazy and reject instantaneously because it sounds like everything else.
Absolutely. And so if you know this person, obviously the hope all is well, hope you're staying safe. That's a different conversation.
Nope.
However, if you don't know this person at all, please just get rid of it. And here's, I'm gonna give you guys another reason behind it is the first 4 to 5 words of your email are critical. So if you have that, you're now like everyone else, even if after what you said, hope all is well is different. Most people won't even get to that point because, again, just like Steve just said there, you're now like everyone else and the brain is just going to be like, whatever. So change it to a couple things that I'll recommend here. I was researching, or based on my research, or I noticed, I saw. These are things that you can start incorporating in your first couple words of your email. So now people are like, oh, well, this person actually did some type of research here. Let me go see what they said.
And I think what happened is what jumped the shark somewhere along the way. This is a great example of something that used to work and doesn't. I got the gray hair to prove it here. I lived through the early 2000s of being a sales development rep at the time. We were called, get ready for this, marketing associates, Morgan. You'll get a kick up. So when they hired us, they said, this is a marketing associate job. There were all these people that lined up that were like graphic designers. I worked at the corporate executive board and about 100 people were doing what we now call SDR work.
Yeah.
But back then they called it marketing. And they thought that it was like they were going to be doing like marketing images and branding stuff.
Nope.
And they're like, here's your phone.
Exactly.
Here's your email. Go cold call and cold email these C-level executives. Good luck. And the washout right there was insane. All right, let's go to the next one. But I think that you're hearing the theme. What worked yesterday, the title, the role, the responsibility doesn't seem to work now. And actually, in fact, I just changed that with one of our SDRs. I'll call him out in a good way, a guy named Matt Smith, because he came to me hat in hand saying, hey, man, I'm getting my butt kicked. Steve, help me. And we listened to a bunch of his calls and we very quickly said, let's just ditch the role and responsibility. Here's another way of it where it didn't come out well. And by the way, I don't mean to shame the people who wrote these emails so much as just, we need to have real examples. We need to have concrete examples. So I put them right on my LinkedIn post. I had one of our people internally, our director of customer success for Foresight, goes, ouch, I wouldn't want to be one of those people. But that's not what it's about. It's about getting better. So, hi, Steve. I understand that you're the founder at ExecVision. Here we go again. Therefore, the best person to discuss this with. I work with companies in the computer software space, helping them increase their brand's value by leveraging custom web development services. Steve, can I show you how this would work for ExecVision? So this time they're not going for a meeting. Can I show you how this would work for ExecVision? But it's the same thing. It's like a name. This time there's an email address, but no phone number and no physical address, no unsubscribe link. What do you make of it, Morgan? I don't know.
I think the call to action isn't that bad. I mean, I don't think the call to action is deterring me that much. It's what you said earlier, and it came back again, right? Is mentioning someone's title. And this is just for everyone. This is not only for your emails, but your cold calls, right? And saying, hey, I saw that you're this title at this company. That doesn't bring any new insights to that person because they're like, yeah, I know I'm the VP of sales at X. Like, thanks for letting me know. I am that, right? So, and again, I'm also making fun of my previous sales because an SDR, all my emails would sound like that. Hey, saw your X at X, and I just thought it was what you were supposed to do. But then over time with coaching and learning different things, I realized, wait, logically, that actually doesn't make any sense because They know they're that title. I'm not giving them new insights. And the goal with an email is to provide with them, hey, new insights, ways you can help them, things they haven't considered before, not things that they already know. So that's one thing I would just tell everyone to pay attention to is say, hey, I noticed you're the founder of whatever. It's like, yeah, I know. I know I founded this company.
So I love it. So we're going to ditch that. That's going to be part of our new baseline. Another one, I like your comment about the call to action. We're going to see some really creative calls to action a little bit. This one is, and you know Josh Braun, I'm sure, Morgan, he talks a little bit about this. Don't go for the meeting right off the bat. Instead, they're basically asking, could I show you how this would work for ExecVision? I'm assuming if I say yes, they send some sort of a teaser or like a demo or I don't know what. But then there's no phone number. So to me, that's also curious because the number one, I've learned this from Ken Krogh, formerly of InsideSales.com. I think he's still on their board, but good mentor of mine for many years. And he said the number one call to action for a buyer is a phone number. Because if a buyer really wants to buy, they'll call a phone number. If they kind of sort of are interested, maybe they'll fill out a web form. But you should always have your phone number in your signature line. And Bob Perkins at the AISP drilled that into my head, and Larry. So I never, ever send an email where my cell phone number is not right there because they call. They actually will. That will happen. And we're going to get to that later on with Drift and the clever things you're doing with them.
Well, let's talk about that, though.
Yeah.
I believe that most reps don't have it in their signature line because they don't want to be called, because they don't want to get on the phone. So they're like, I don't even want to put it there because I don't even actually want to get on the phone. I'd rather you email me. So that's a whole nother conversation.
If we were on ESPN around the horn, it would have gone bing, bing, bing.
I would have got some points there.
You nailed it. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. I'd never even thought of that before. We use, plug for our friends over Sigster. They were acquired by Terminus. We really like their
shout out to Sigster.
Automated signature, the tool. I don't know what it is exactly, but basically our marketing team sort of locks it down like this is what the banner will be, including your contact info. And I think it's a real smart thing to do that most people don't do. That real estate at the bottom is very important. When they do eye graphs and emails, the eyes of the recipient of the email will hit the beginning. They'll kind of hit just bing, bing, bing real quick, but then they go right to the bottom. So actually you want to cover the real estate at the top and the bottom. Let's go to the next one because we have so many. Let's go to Southern Web here with Jason Bagley. Thank you, friends at DCE, doing a good job. Okay, so this one's pretty cool. A little bit generic. It actually turns out that it's a guy in South Africa. I can only tell that because of the +27 number. So that's kind of cool. He actually has a logo. So there's that real estate we talked about before. Hi, Steve. Just following up, like we both know good salespeople should. Please tell me if I'm getting annoying or if you're just not interested. I really don't want to be that guy. So he's leading with a little bit of kind of humor and a light tone. Yep. Back to those two lead generation ideas. There aren't any silver bullets. And then in parentheses, those are long gone. I miss the days of spending 10 cents a click with Google or sending out an email to any random email list and getting a bunch of replies and sales. They aren't going to change your business overnight either. I'm assuming that they are these ideas, these two ideas. They aren't going to change your business overnight either. Anyone promising you this is lying. What I can tell you is that one of the ideas that we've run for ourselves and our clients has results that look like this. And then he embeds data and it says number of prospects, 510, number of replies, 85, successful leads, 22, percentage of replies, 16%. Percentage of leads, 4%, open rate, almost 40%. Not exactly blowing anyone out of the water, but it does help keep our and our client sales pipelines topped up. Would you be open to having a chat about this screenshot and the two lead generation ideas I have for ExecVision, signed by Jason Bagley in South Africa? All right, this one is getting much more interesting. Now, there's no customization. We've already talked about that one.
Yep.
But still, he's doing some stuff here that's actually pretty clever. So what are your thoughts?
First of all, I like the screenshot. I think a lot of reps don't use screenshots in their emails. I think they think, oh, well, I might get put in spam, whatever. If you do it as a first email, sure. Later down the line, we as humans like to see visuals. It's why we go see movies and things of that nature, right? And so that visual in the screenshot, I really like that. And I think the first sentence can play off well if you do it right. I mean, it's different. Because it wasn't just hey, I'm just following up. It was just kind of, hey, I don't want to be an annoying sales rep. And I use similar techniques on the phone. I feel like because I can add a little bit more tone to it, it's different. But I like the technique of that. Obviously, it sounded like more of a, hey, I'm just going to send out a campaign. but a little bit more targeted, not like super personalized. So I like where the direction of where this is going. I probably would, if it's the data wasn't directly applicable to me, I probably wouldn't respond, but I like the way that this is structured. And I think there are obviously some tweaks, but I kind of like this one. I'm not like against it. I'm kind of like in the middle here. I don't know how you feel about it, Steve.
You see that when I look at this, the first thing I think, Morgan, is like, man, I'd like to have our SDRs test a variant of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think this is it, but the combination of the, you're a sales, I'm in sales. If I'm getting annoying, let me know. I got two ideas. These two ideas are like going to generate some curiosity in the mind of the prospect. And then some data that makes me go, because it's real. I also like that he's saying like, there's no silver bullet. If someone tells you there's a silver bullet, they're lying.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, again, that line in particular, I would love to just straight test that. I can give you an example of a real one that I tested that's like this, that is the performance is without question, it's much, much better. It's consistent, it's repeatable. And it's a little bit of a page out of the Start With No playbook. This guy named Jim Camp, who passed. Chris Voss does kind of similar things too. But basically what you do is you make someone feel okay to say no. So you say, are you up for, the line is, are you open for a conversation? If yes, and then you include your scheduling link. So it makes it real easy self-service for scheduling. You can avoid the back and forth hassle, which people hate.
Yep.
And if no, here's the line. If no, all good. If no, all good. Then you say thank you in advance with the presumptive being polite, and then finally best. And I got that off of, I think it was, research from a sales loft or somebody like that, or an outreach. Best, comma, and then your signature line. And I'll tell you what, when you give the person the out, it performs better than if you don't give the person the out. So that's something to jot down. But I think that in terms of testing here, you want to test the embedded data inside of it.
Yep.
You want to test there are no silver bullets, and then you can even test that kind of quirky opening statement. All right, let's go to the next one.
Cool.
Kind of fun, right?
No, this is, hopefully everyone's getting some insights off of this. We're just riffing off some emails. Good stuff.
Actually, Morgan, say that line when we were prepping. Remember what you said? It's like everyone had the same, you know what I'm talking about?
The same outbound playbook. I look through executives' inboxes, and I feel like everyone is sending like the same messages. And John Barrows did a post like 5-6 weeks ago, and he went on vacation, and he was like, "Hey guys, I came back with like 1,500 emails," and he didn't have a single personalized email.
Wow.
And only one video between his LinkedIn and email. And I was just like blown away to being like, okay, so if you just take some time, you're going to stand out regardless, because of how many people just go through the motions, just sitting yourself out there, especially during this time where people feel more pressed to make more things happen. When if you just take your time, think it out, be thoughtful, you're going to get a lot more results. So I just found it to be interesting.
Yeah, we know that the reason for this is, generally speaking, Barrow's company is fairly small. Like my companies are fairly small, so I get you when you're going after the SMB, you need like a high volume. I understand all that. And and I also understand people are generally using the sequence and cadence tools by the likes of the, Outreach, Sales Loft, Dial, Soars, Front Spin, there's a lot of players that are in that category, and that's all well and good, but you can still do the preview of those messages and tweak just a little bit around it. And okay, here we go. Hi, Steve. Do you have a social media page that's inactive? Now the subject line on this is Steve, too busy for social media. Steve, too busy for social media. And now obviously Steve is a merging field. It has to be. So hi, Steve. Do you have a social media page that's inactive? Our team at Demand Lever would be happy to post on your LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts with 5 custom graphics each week entirely for free. No strings attached. We're social media experts that create custom content that helps build and engage your social following, entirely done for you. I'd be happy to discuss further or shoot over a text if you'd like. Thanks. Hazel Madero. And this is where we're joking around about the playbook. The signature line looks exactly the same as that one earlier, where it's name, email address, and then it says growth strategist, Demand Lever. All right. They're going to do my social media for free, Morgan.
So I really would have loved this one if they had an example of you being inactive. So if they would have screenshotted like a post from, let's say, Twitter, right? And you didn't post till 2017. It's like, Steve, where are you? Right? That would have been massively powerful, but it was just saying, hey, you're inactive. So it's like, okay, like, no, I'm actually active on LinkedIn. What are they talking about? So now you, as a buyer, right, are going to be like, I don't really have time to check this out. I got other things to do. But if they would have screenshotted something, then it would have been way more engaging for you. And so that's my thing there. I mean, you could easily, it is free. So, hey, I might want to go check it out, but I might not be as, I guess, engaged to it because you didn't point to one part of my social media.
So I go back to that brain science, this one, because actually, as I'm rereading that, I don't think the first time I read that, I even realized it was free. To be honest with you, I think as soon as I saw inactive social accounts, I wrote back and said remove or unsubscribe or something. Yeah. So I think you're completely right. If you can get that person in a system 2 in the brain where the rational part of the brain is engaged and the thinking slows down, then I think that this becomes something that would be, I would like to at least know how could they do that? More than anything else, I'm just sitting here and going like, what the hell is the business model? They're going to do everyone's social media for free with 5 graphics a week. Like what is it?
Exactly. It would have been intrigued though, because if they took the screenshot, then you would have been in the system and then you would have found out like whatever they were really offering.
There it is. They never showed me another post. They never showed me like if they had taken, like you said, the screenshot of my inactive Twitter and they'd be like, oh shit, man, we should probably do something.
Yeah. If I was right over there, I would just I'd be on social media screenshotting everything. Just going crazy.
Well, I'll tell you what. So when we tested, our old director of demand gen tested a bunch of cadences over time. And what we found is when it contained one image, we were outperforming when we weren't containing an image. The conversion rates were a minimum of 20% higher. So it looks like there's something to be said for that. And actually, we probably haven't been doing as good a job being as consistent with that as we need to. So. All right, next one. How about we go to the git commit ones? Git commits. All right, here's what this reads. Hi again, Steve. I think I was in a cadence here. Hi again, Steve. Just wanted to, oh yeah, I see why. Because at the bottom he wrote, hi, Steve, we just connected on LinkedIn. Okay, so the first message is we just connected on LinkedIn and I did send you a message here. I personally seem to spend a little more time in my direct inbox, so I figured I'd email you as well, in case you're like me in that aspect. So that was it. Okay. And then the second one in the sequence, the cadence is, hi again, Steve. Just wanted to follow up with you about getting your insights on my new company, Git Commits. I also wanted to share a little more just in case I was too vague in my last emails. The main goal of Git Commits is to see work completed more efficiently and cost effectively, including tasks that may have been backlogged or lost in the shuffle, and do all this without the hassles of job postings, interviews, hiring, and firing. By providing a library of funded issues, we can help developers find paid work without the hassles of applying and interviewing for jobs, while also helping product owners get their tasks completed. If you've got a few minutes and feel like giving some feedback, I'd really appreciate your thoughts on the platform and what we're trying to accomplish. Here's the link. Okay, then he puts the link, and then it says, thanks. This is where it jumped the shark. Thanks again, brackets, first name. So that was a mail merge gone wrong, a cadence field that didn't map correctly. Hope all's well, Drew. But the thing that's interesting about this is the call to action. Like we go back to the call to action you were talking about before. So talk a little bit about that.
So, I think the call to action there is, because that was still a link, right? If I was looking at that correctly.
That's right. So it's a link. Basically what they're doing is they're basically saying, hey, I want you to take a look at this link, which will give you more of an understanding of the concept behind our business. You see what I mean? They're not asking for a meeting. They're not asking me to try something for free. They're not giving me something for free. They're basically asking for my feedback more or less on their business model. But obviously it's for me to become a customer as opposed to it just being like a feedback. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. It depends on obviously where that leads to, right? If it's a link to a 15-minute video, like that's not going to pan out well for you. So depends on where they're taking it to, whether it's just a quick visual or it's a 30-second video, that's cool. But you have to really make sure that you're pointing to something that's not super long-winded. But I like that because I see it as more so when you're in the movie theater and you see a movie trailer and you're like, all right, like I didn't really expect to like this movie that just came on, but I might go see it, right? And so that's kind of what I see it as, because you're using it in the real estate of the email there. Hey, if you go check it out, like we got some more stuff on that. All right, well, maybe I'm interested. The thing though that would not get a person, I think, to the end though, based on what I'm seeing there, is the beginning. I think there was a lot of said there in the beginning that was more so fluff, right? And I've done that a lot in emails where I'm like, oh, I just want to say all these things, but if you could get to the point sooner, I think more people would actually click that link.
And the whole idea behind this is every tech company is going to have like a tech backlog. So the concept of, wait a minute, your tech backlog is probably not that unique. There are other tech backlogs that are the same. Mm-hmm. You could probably have people who could, do some of your backlogged items for very, very little money. Like that concept of like, it's almost like a shared ride to the airport for engineering makes sense conceptually. I checked with our CTO and he was like, nah, this is not, he goes, I could see companies where it'd be a good fit, wouldn't be a good fit for how we develop software. But, either way, I just thought it was very clever, but again, it's not something that I'm biting on. Now, the next one I bid on. Okay. So this is now I kind of put them in sequence in terms of like, when we get to a point where I said, all right, take the meeting. I took a meeting about this one. And actually I think I can even play the voicemail for you because it's clever. So let me do the email first. Hi, Steve. Reaching out as ExecVision was recently nominated by our partnered schools as a potentially good fit. That right off the bat was very intriguing to me. Again,
it's intriguing.
Out as ExecVision was recently nominated by our partnered schools as a potentially good fit. It's probably nonsense, but it got my attention. Are there areas in your company where additional input and ideas may be valuable, but you don't have resources? Ripen, I guess, offers a free program where you can get post-secondary students to help you with marketing, research, software development, or other side projects. So you're getting, I guess, college kids and like people who are in master's programs or something. If you'd like to learn more, you can book a call with me below. Let's chat soon as classes fill up quickly. So it's this free program. I took this call. And then at the bottom, you have Kim Nguyen, intern/industry partnership, and then her pronouns she/her, which is an interesting thing I'm seeing people do. And then the phone number, and it's in Toronto. And then there was a button to schedule a meeting. So they also included a button to schedule a meeting. So again, very different call to action. Reserve my student project. They're offering this for free. They're basically offering you free labor from what I could tell.
Yeah, it's like, all right. There's a lot of free offerings here.
All right. What's your take on all this?
So, I'm going to go to the bold, because if you guys noticed that there was bold words there, I found that to be very intriguing because it's not normally what would be bolded. They bolded very like words. They bolded words that you normally don't see bolded. And so because of that, that really stood out to me. I think the first sentence just stands out because it's like, wait, nominated, like what are they talking about here? So you have to almost be intrigued because of that. I like also as well that they asked the question in the middle of it to then get you to think that then there's like, like how am I doing that? And then moves into the next point. I like the way that they had the flow in here. Maybe in the first sentence, they could have said like who it was, but maybe that's part of the strategy to keep it mysterious. So it's like, hey, you got nominated, but we're not going to tell you until you take a meeting with us. So, but this is an email that is solid. The bolding is interesting to me because some people don't like the bold strategy. I think when things are bolded, I'm kind of turned off with it in an email, but some people might like the bold, right? It depends on who they're targeting at scale and who they're A/B testing this with too. And that's something to consider, but that's my take right there.
Let's hear the voicemail too. So this, I agree with your take on it. Hang on, see if it works.
Hi, Steve. My name is Kim. I'm calling on behalf of Ripen. We're an education technology platform based in Vancouver, and we just wanted to reach out and see if ExecVision would be interested in getting help from students on side projects that you might have at no cost. It's actually free for businesses like yours to use our platform as a response to COVID. So if this sounds like something that you might be interested in, please feel free to give me a call back at 647-946-9814. And I'll also be sending you an email. Thanks so much. Bye.
The only thing I ask people is if you don't know how to say the name of the company you're calling, just don't do it. ExecVision, or I don't know what she said exactly, but other than that, it was an intriguing voicemail. And again, I go back to what's going on right now. Nobody leaves voicemails anymore.
No. And so there's two things on that. One is no one leaves voicemails anymore because they say they don't get callbacks. But the purpose of the voicemail, and from my perspective, is to get them to reply to the email, which is my second point, which is what she did. She said, hey, I'm about to send you an email. So that's for everyone here. Like if you're leaving voicemails and you're like, oh, like no one's calling me back. Well, you're not going to get a lot of callbacks. You just like, it's just not like most people get 5, 4, 3, 0 callbacks. If you get a ton, then you're doing great. But for the most part, people don't. And so what I tell people is, hey, proactively tell someone what you're going to do. Hey, I'm going to send you an email in the next 5 minutes. Like I do it in like time intervals. Like, hey, I'm going to send you a video on LinkedIn in the next 10 minutes. So I'm like telling people to go do things proactively, which gets them to have a higher reply rate. So something else to take into consideration.
That is great. So salespeople, start leaving voicemails again. Your callback rate is 2%. That means you leave 100, you get 2. Guess what? You're calling those 100 people anyway. How many extra seconds does it take to leave a voicemail? That one was 37 seconds. You know, it just doesn't take that much incremental time to get those 2 or 3 callbacks. You know why it's 2%? Because at any given time in your market, 3% of your market's actively buying. So that's the research. It's not my opinion. It was originally done by Chet Holmes. So you might as well leave the voicemail if you're going to call. Don't leave a voicemail every time, obviously. But no, I mean, I think that it's very clever. I think what you can learn from this is how do you make that first sentence look and feel personal, even though it's probably not. And the way they were, you know, ExecVision was nominated by our partnered schools. Very clever because it did a little of the magic of flip me in the system too for a second, and then the call to action. So, you know, pretty well done there. Let's go to the next one, if we could. And okay, so this one right here is an example of the. I believe this is. Hang on. Let me see which one this is. Yeah, this is the FUD one. Okay, this is the fear by FUD. Everyone should know that acronym. It means fear, uncertainty, and doubt. All right, so listen, now this is, as opposed to the other ones, this one looks like it was actually probably sent by, you know, someone, maybe one off. Hi, Steve. Did you know, oh, I take that back. There's an extra space after my name before the comma. That looks like a mail merge. And it's called COVID-19 CARES Act Stimulus Plan. Hi, Steve. Did you know there is a small window with your 401k that will only last until October 31st of this year with the new COVID-19 rules that could potentially allow you to convert future taxable income into tax-free income down the road? Would you be up for a quick 10-minute call? And I can tell you about this amazing strategy. Just send me a message or email me at, which seems odd because the email address is different. So it's mbrown at Red Fox Commercial LLC. And the email was originally Mike at growing-your-money.com, or schedule with the Calendly link below. It won't last long, ... And then there's the Calendly. But I think what's going on here, Morgan, is this guy, Mike, and his company are sending it off this other domain, and they're sending a lot of these out. So I am starting to think it's just a mail merge, not even through Cadence program. And they're sending a lot of them out because they're just sort of fishing for anybody who's going to bite on the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which is, of course, oh crap, I'm going to miss out on a tax break. Like, I don't want a tax break, right? So your thoughts on this one?
Well, one thing is, just as a suggestion here, is you don't want to include your email in your email. Well, it's just a waste. I mean, it's just a waste of real estate, right? Like saying, "Hey, email me here at what I just emailed you at," right? So that's I've seen that in some emails, and I just tell people, just take it out. Like, if they're interested, they'll reply. And because of that, there was 2 call to actions there, which that overwhelms people. Hey, email me here. And then also you can schedule time here. So it's just a lot. It's not, you don't have the established relationship. When you've established a relationship, you can be like, hey, here's some times you want to connect. If not, here's my link, right? But you don't know this person yet. So in saying, hey, email me here and also do this link, and then, whoa, there's a lot going on there, right? And also as well, I would just say in this email, I think they still could have had the question there, maybe in the beginning, phrased differently. But I feel like when you're saying like amazing opportunity or a one in a lifetime chance, I feel like it jumps out at you to be like, I don't really know, right? Because we're just hesitant when we hear that type of elaboration of messages. So, I mean, those are my suggestions there. I think the question though, in the beginning, maybe if you just, and this is just stats I've seen from Jeremy Donovan at SalesLoft, is that, and I don't know if this still stands true today, but I saw it months ago, is that when you have COVID-19 in your messaging, it decreases your reply rate.
Yeah.
So that's just something to take in consideration as well, I would say.
That's right. Get rid of the COVID-19, get rid of anything that's overblown. We go back to the South Africans message, remember? It was like, there are no silver bullets. You know what I mean? If you're going to be more understated, if you come up with anything that sounds like, too infomercially, we know, again, that's not our opinion on this one. The research shows it doesn't perform as well.
Yep.
And then the Calendly makes a ton of sense there. What makes actually more sense, so the research shows that I saw that Chili Piper did.
Okay.
If you include, and I think if I remember correctly, I even saw something that was similar from Calendly. Basically, if you include 3 embedded times, and what's even better than a calendar link. Now, I don't even do this, but those other tools let you automatically embed like 3 times, like boom, 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 like pick one, and when the buyer just goes click, it's like everything else is done. So that would work better. But the thing that you should take away from this on a positive is, how can you embed that fear, uncertainty, and doubt? Because again, it's like, create this aha for me. And so as a business owner, when I saw that, I went, first thing I thought is like, do I care about, putting more on my 401k? I don't think so now, because I'm in college savings mode. Mm-hmm. So I don't think deferring yet more income till I'm 50. If I don't live till I'm 64 and a half, it's going to be real sad for me, because I got a big old pile of money waiting for me at that point. But, I gotta worry about the college first. So I was kind of like, I don't care as much about that. And then I forwarded it to our accountant and said, hey, Robin, is this legit? Do I have to worry about this? And she wrote back and said, no. I mean, it was as simple, like one word answer, like, nope, we got this.
Okay, so cool.
But the whole thing is, if you can create that FUD along the way to get someone to sort of stop someone in the tracks of saying like, am I doing this right? There's something to be said for how you embed that in there without it being like, one time only.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. That you gotta add that question staged a little bit differently.
All right, let's go to the next one. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun.
No, this is awesome, man.
Okay,
we're on LinkedIn now.
We're on LinkedIn now. Yes, we are on LinkedIn. And not only are we on LinkedIn, I will point out a very subtle thing that a lot of people don't understand. This is not an in-mail. I have run 2 tests on in-mails with our own team, 100 each time. And in both cases, the in-mails performed, and one of them was done earlier this year. In both cases, the in-mails did not perform as well as emails. So we wrote really good personalized messages, Morgan, on both. And we sent pretty much carbon copies. 100 on in-mail and 100 on email. The email performed way better. In fact, we didn't get a single out of the 100. We didn't get one meeting with an in-mail. So we've basically concluded in-mail is a total waste of time. What Rebecca's doing here that's different is, I don't know if she connected with me prior to this or if I was already connected with her. It wouldn't surprise me if I was already connected, but she sent me a message at some point to connect with me. Or I did with her, but I doubt it was that way. I think it was her with me. And then after that, she sends a direct message. And the HubSpot reps are so smart. Hi, Steve. I will keep this short and sweet to make this worthwhile. ExecVision is on my radar because I continue to see your team leveraging HubSpot's growth marketing resources, mainly Angela and Greg. Now, Angela and Greg are our marketing team at ExecVision. So right off the bat, like, big time System 2 moment for me. Like, she knows the name of my marketing people. Like, there it is. But I realize you guys are likely still using Marketo, which is also true. We are using Marketo. So, 2 for 2, bing, bing. So right off the bat, I'm leaning into this.
Yeah.
Let me know if you'd be open to an informal chat to better understand why we have been seeing companies like SurveyMonkey and Eventbrite make the switch from Marketo to HubSpot since the release of our Marketing Hub Enterprise. Now, a couple of things that are interesting about that. I've known HubSpot forever. I know Mark Roberge pretty well. SurveyMonkey and Eventbrite, are they like us? No, but they're kind of in our orbit. You know what I mean? Like, they're sort of like in our extended ecosystem, or we're in their extended ecosystem. So they're names that she's going to know I'm going to be familiar with. She's not picking like, Ford. Then again, they don't really work with companies like Ford. And then she also says our new Marketing Hub Enterprise, and this plays off of, we call it the X significant other approach at ExecVision. Morgan, basically, for someone who's known a brand like HubSpot forever, you got to say something that HubSpot's doing new, interesting, different. Otherwise, I immediately go, I know HubSpot, I'm all set. Even though I respect what you're doing, we've looked at it before. You see what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
I thought this was very, very, very clever. And I did respond to her. I basically told her the timing isn't right. Like, we're not going to be making a switch, but when the contract's up, because I think our contract's up for another like 18 months, like, we should talk to them. Anyway, so it worked. It worked, although it basically uncovered someone who's not susceptible to looking, because we got a really long contract with Marketo. So your thoughts as you're seeing this?
Yeah. So, I mean, first and foremost, for everyone out there, as you're doing outbound, like, it's all about timing. Yes, be personalized. Yes, run your steps. It also comes to timing. You could have a fantastic video, email, call, and that person might be leaving, right? They might be going somewhere else, right? So all those things matter when you're doing that. And so what I will say on this is I really loved how she brought up names in the organization. Anytime you can bring up like, hey, like this person and this person, I see they're on your team, that person's gonna be like, well, okay, you're doing some research here. You can't really automate that from my understanding. That's a hard thing to automate. So, and she also brought up, hey, I think you're also using this tool too. So she brought up the commonality, and I think she still got the response, but something you all could consider, considering to what Steve said in that data, and we've seen it to be successful with some clients who do InMail, is not ask for the meeting, but say, hey, this is a piece of content, or here's a case study I can send over. Because the whole goal is that you want someone to reply to the InMail, so you can obviously get the credit back. And then now you're in a conversation. So then you can send them whatever you want to after that. So maybe the follow-up could have been there, hey, we have a new thing at HubSpot. Here's a free trial for it for the first 30 days or something like that. So just to get you integrated.
Just to clarify, you are seeing, so some of your, actually, I have seen my comment about InMail. Companies with a bigger brand name, I've seen run similar tests on InMail and actually have had some better success. Although for sure the trend seems to be down. Are you seeing anybody right now in your clients that are like, they're consistently saying, no, InMail's the way to go?
So no one's saying like InMail's the way to go. This is it. The email, you're still going to see the higher response rate. However, if you're not getting anything from email and all the other channels, InMail is a place to go, yet offer content and case studies.
The curveball. I love it. Okay. Content and case studies and InMail. I love that. And then if you're going to do what Rebecca did, connect with the person first and then send a direct message. When you're sending a direct message, it's free. So just make sure you know that difference. All right, go to the next one if you would, please, folks. I don't even know who it is at DCE. I'm just saying DCE. Killing it. All right. This one, now this is going to be a little tough, but this was this was one of our customers. I can't say who they are. They asked me to just sanitize it. Fairly, decent sized tech company in California and Austin, Texas. Now these were very intentionally, we put the mobile images here. So this is happening on LinkedIn, same strategy, connect, send a message. Hey, Paul, I saw you recently shared an article about blank bringing on new members to the team. That's awesome that you were growing, especially in this unprecedented time. Fortunately, blank has also continued to grow despite the uncertainty. I'd love the chance to connect and talk more with you about the efforts we've made towards cybersecurity resiliency recently. Let's set up some time for next week. Now that was initially, you know what? I lied to you. I take it back because at the bottom it says accepted your InMail. So it looks like that was the.
It wasn't InMail?
I lied about that. That is accepted your InMail. Okay, so in this case, it looks like the InMail did work, but this company's got a bigger brand name. Like they're going to be a little bit more known in their industry. And then it says, hi, Amelia, thanks for reaching out. Of all the requests I get, I have to tell you that it's refreshing that you actually took some extra time to research before InMailing. I'd be happy to spend a little time to learn what blank is offering. How about this time you can send me an invite? So this guy actually writes back with a time, which is pretty remarkable. That usually is the highest amount of interest. And then she schedules it. So your thoughts?
From what I'm seeing here, I think this is really solid. I like how she, right? Making sure I'm looking at this right.
It is. Yeah. It looks like it's Amelia, correct.
Yes. Okay. So I like how immediately she started with I saw. Like this is key. Remember, we just talked about this and now it's in play. I saw, and then goes right into it. And the thing is, that's immediately going to hook anyone, because if you say I saw something and make sure that you actually saw it, it's going to be very, very credible when you're reaching out, and that client, that prospect, whoever you're reaching out to, is going to be like, oh yeah, I need to have a conversation with this person. So I like that approach. If you're going to come with I saw, especially in InMails, you don't want to just spam out your InMails. Like you really want to take the time with these, because at the end of the day, they normally go to someone's email anyways. And so if they just see it as another spam. Oh, I've seen this automated message before. They're going to delete it and they're going to move on. And we don't want that. So I really like the things that stands out to me is just starting off with the I saw, and then obviously the rest of it just flowed. That obviously got the response here.
And let's talk about what they're doing here, which I think in the language of John Barrows and the old Kensei is
why now?
Why you why now, right?
Yeah, so, yeah, exactly.
What you and I hear all the time, Morgan, constantly is, oh, I can't find anything. The SDRs are like, I looked, I can't find anything. This is an example of the SDR, in this case, Amelia, doing a brilliant job of finding the thing that's sitting right under her nose. In this case, this guy sends or posted something, looks like on LinkedIn. And most reps don't stop to look at what did that prospect post. They look at the LinkedIn profile, but they just look at the title. They never go and look at the LinkedIn profile and look at things like the recommendation, or look at what activity this person's doing on LinkedIn. Are they sharing content? Are they commenting on other people's content? Is the company hiring right now? I mean, there's so much on LinkedIn that it's like sitting right under your nose. Yep. And Amelia used it. That's what I love about this. Which is critical.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Very little about what she did. Very little.
Yep, we can hear you.
Hey guys, so this is a pretty awesome session. I have to say, my phone has literally been blowing up about some of the content you're talking about here. And listen, getting into that research, we should all do a little breakout session at some point about that, because we struggle right now with, how much research do you do in advance? How much can you do on the fly? Personally, as an SDR, I was able to just fly through calls while doing research. But overall, I mean, this is just fantastic information. We are out of time. I don't know if you guys have...
my bad about that, Matt. I thought we were at
we were in it. We were just like...
Hey, listen, I could have...
we could have been here all day.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. Listen, I love the fact that you guys were together on this. This is just it's phenomenal. So I appreciate you guys attending. Yeah, there's a lot of questions that have come in.
Well, Matt, we'll move this offline here, and we'll post the rest of these slides so everyone can have access to them later on. And then all the questions and everything, we'll take it off of here so we can clear the air for you. Okay.
Perfect. And, we want to do some breakouts from this as well. So I definitely would love to let you guys talk, but I want to be respectful to our next guest. But Steve, Morgan, thank you very much. And we'll follow up with you guys shortly.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.